want to work on cars? Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another Watch with Nordic live commentary stream. We are back yet again commentating round one, game three of the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators here tonight. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all here in the wonderful commentary stream. So a couple of things to go over. First off, what's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, Taco Tom? I see T-Stats near. Daniel, what's going on? We got Brian in here. We got Todd in here. Hughes in here. What's up, everyone? Good to see all you guys here in the chat. So, for those who saw the promotional post this morning, in the first intermission of tonight's game, we are unboxing a box of hockey cards here, Series 2, hunting for that Matthew Schaefer rookie card. We will see if we get it here tonight. Our odds are like 1,000 to 1, so I doubt it, but maybe we'll get lucky. It's been a good week here on the commentaries, so maybe we'll get lucky. It's good to see all you here in the chat. National Anthem's currently going on right now here in Ottawa, so let's set the stage. Game 1, Hurricanes win that game in a close score of 2-0. Game 2, it goes to double overtime. Jordan Marnook with the OT winner to get the win for Carolina, and it's a 2-0 series lead heading into Game 3 here in Ottawa. It makes things incredibly interesting, especially with the fact that if Carolina wins tonight in Ottawa, they will go up 3-0. If the Senators win tonight, they could flip the script a little bit and make it a 2-1 series. So we'll see what happens here. Starting goaltenders are the same goalies that have been here the last couple of games. You have Linus Ullmark against Frederik Andersen, and it should be a fun one here tonight. What's up, River Priest? How we doing? Good to see you all here in the chat. And again, I do want to say thank you all so much for yesterday's commentaries. We hit 6,000 subscribers and then some. So I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you all so much for your support here yesterday. And we still got a little bit more time here as the anthem is currently going on. Again, this is the second of 3 games here tonight on the playoff slate. Currently going on right now, tied after a period of play, is Bruins and Sabres. Round 1, game 3. It's a 1-1 hockey game there. And then later on tonight, yes, we will be live for Avalanche and Kings. That is the later game here on the commentary schedule. We will be live for that game later on tonight, so stay tuned for it. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Thank you, Quincy. It's greatly appreciated, brother. I couldn't do it without you guys, seriously. I mean, like, again, obviously I'm the one who's making the commentaries and commentating the games, but at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. We don't get to this number without you guys. So I'm very grateful for your guys' support and what you guys have given me here. Be sure to like the stream down below. We had a pretty good night last night. We got to over 200 likes on the one stream, over 100 likes on the other. So hopefully another good one here tonight. That Minnesota-Dallas game was crazy last night. Yeah, double overtime. It was nearly, we went over half of the, double overtime too. So we were coming up on triple overtime there, but we did not get to it, fortunately, and the night ended there before we could get to it. All right, Oh Canada going on here right now, and wow. You're welcome, Ken Paul. What's up, Jane? How we doing? Sean says, go Sens go. Love to hear that. Alrighty, everyone. That concludes the national anthem here from Ottawa. And we set the stage for round 1, game 3 between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators. Should be a very fun one here tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning into my commentary. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. We'll take a look at the 2 starting goaltenders here coming up in just a moment. But currently, the Hurricanes lead this series 2-0, and there is a chance that they could move further and closer to a sweep by the end of tonight. Starting goaltenders here now on both sides. Linus Ullmark is in net for Ottawa. And on the other side, you have Frederik Andersen in for Carolina. They have been the two goalies in this entire series. It's round one, game 3, the first home game for Ottawa in the playoffs. Canes and Sens, and we are underway. Faceoff is won back by the Hurricanes. They will dump it down low into the Ottawa zone. Sanderson off the boards, turnover forced there by Ehlers. Shot on is blocked. Intercepted then by Claude Giroux, who will play it back to center. Hurricanes now regrouping with it in the neutral zone, battling for it on the right side. Chipped off the boards and back down low into the Carolina zone. Sean Walker will throw a pass out of the Carolina end all the way back down into the Ottawa zone for an icing. And this place is loud here in Ottawa. And a further look at the starting goaltenders tonight. Frederik Andersen, 2-0 in this series, has a .967 save percentage, which is the best in the playoffs. On the other side, Linus Ullmark, 0-2, but a .936 save percentage. He's played phenomenal despite being down 0-2 in this series. Face-off in the Carolina end then is won by the Canes. They will clear it back to center. Shabbat battling for it on the right side, then taken back by Tim Stützle. What's up, JJ? How we doing? Woke up too early. Well, I mean, sometimes that's a good thing. Down low now in the Carolina zone. There's a pass up in front for Brady Tkachuk, and that one goes up and out of play. And the pushing and shoving intensifies. I'll mention this a couple of times, but in the first intermission of tonight's commentary, we will be unboxing a box of Series 2 Upper Deck hockey cards, hunting for that Matthew Schaefer rookie card. We'll see if we get it tonight. I'm not exactly sure. We'll find out. It's I believe our third annual Unbox with Nordic here. We usually do them once a month, sometimes twice a month if we get enough. If I have enough money for the cards. Face off here now in the Carolina end. No shots so far. It'll be Aho versus Pinto. Face off here now in the Carolina zone, and the referee just not wanting to blow that puck or put that puck down. And Aho's kicked out of the face-off circle. Coming in then is Jarvis. He'll win the face-off back for Carolina. Aho up top to Svechnikov. Svechnikov will throw it back down low into the corner. Intercepted then by the Sens, who will clear it back to center. Amadio tried to dump that one down low, and that is an icing. Well, if you're wondering about the history between these two teams and what has undergone in previous series for the Ottawa Senators when they are down 2-0, they have previously played 10 playoff series where they have trailed 2-0, and they have lost all of them. So this Senators team looking to rewrite history here and try and change things for the better. In a way, it does feel like a repeat here of last year. Face-off outside of the Carolina zone is won back by the Hurricanes. Shane Gostisbehere chips it off the boards, then back to center. Carolina's offsides. Sens will get that puck and regroup. Here's Dennis Gilbert playing it off the boards to center. Grabbed over then by Lars Eller. Eller shoots it. Saved there by Anderson. Up top, Tyler Klevin. Dumps it around behind the net then. Carolina will take it right back. Carrier will dump it to center. Now Gilbert getting it back for Ottawa. Intercepted by the Canes. Jankowski at the line back to Gostisbehere, who will dump it down low into the corner. Robinson up top. Turnover forced by the Sens. They will clear it back to center. Here's Ehlers back over then for Shane Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere battling for it with Fabian Zetterlund. Jackson Blake will steal it back then for Carolina. He will move this one through center. Intercepted by Ottawa now. Tkachuk into the zone to Stützle. Tim Stützle held scoreless in this series so far. You got to think he's going to break out at some point. Jackson Blake. Cross-ice pass then to Chatfield. Chatfield up top to Hall. Down low, Chatfield pass in front. And a huge save there by Ullmark on Stankoven. That line has been red hot in these playoffs for Carolina, and Ullmark just stoned him. Battling for it down low in the corner is Warren Foegele alongside Stankoven. Canes will keep up the pressure. Blake, cross-ice pass in the center. It's a lot of traffic there in front. K'Andre Miller, shot on his block. Slavin will dump it down low into the corner. Jackson Blake fighting now with Sanderson. Senators trying to get it free. Stutzel's there as well. Taylor Hall battling for now on the right side. It's a fight for it here down low in the corner. Getting it back is Jordan Stahl. Slaving a shot. Saved there by Olmark. And backhanded out to center by Vicens. Canes will get it back. They'll dump it down low here into the Ottawa zone. Thomas Chabot over then for Montempalo. Cousins will backhand it up in the air back to center. And a whistle blown dead at 16:53 for an offsides against the Sens. Shots 2-1 Carolina here. Think Montreal, better team than Ottawa. Hopefully Ottawa wins tonight. I would say Montreal's definitely better than Ottawa. Hey, what's up, Todd? Thank you, brother. Welcome back to the stream. Face-off coming up here now outside of the Carolina zone. It's Jordan Stahl versus Greg. Greg will be kicked out of the face-off circle. Cousins comes in. Sens will win the draw. They'll dump it down low here into the Carolina zone. On the right side, Seth Jarvis will dump it back to center. Here's Greg into the zone, and another offsides against Ottawa. That's like the third time they've been called offside in this entire period so far, and we're not even 4 minutes in. Coaching matchup, Travis Green versus Rod Brindamore. Rod Brindamore, born in Ottawa, has been this Hurricanes coach for a little bit now. And then as for Travis Green, in his second season as Ottawa's head coach, he's been a pretty solid contributor as to why they made the playoffs this year. Miller clears it back to center, then Aho battling for with Spence. And a whistle blown dead here for another offsides against the Sens. What's up, Bathtub Jim? How we doing? Oh, my Lord. That's like the fourth offsides we've had for Ottawa in these last couple minutes. Rod the man, yep. Former Philadelphia Flyer. Face-off one here by the Hurricanes. Gostisbehere chipped off the boards and all the way back to center into the Ottawa zone. Olmark will play it to center. Fogle gets it back and regroups down low to Chabot. Chabot off the boards to center. It's broken up then by the Canes who try and keep it in the zone. Ehlers cross-ice pass all the way back up top then to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere over then for Nikishin, who will dump it down low. Alex Nikishin started off his NHL career in the playoffs last year for Carolina. Ottawa will hold it here behind their own net. It's Thomas Chabot. Chabot looking for options. He'll chip this one off the boards then ahead for Gilbert. Gilbert to center. Getting it back then is Mark Jankowski. Cross-ice pass then up top for Jarvis. He'll backhand it down low into the corner. Senators will fight for it here on the right side. Gilbert ahead then for Ridley Gregg, who will dump it down low. Jacob Slavin gets it back in the corner then for Carolina. About 4.5 minutes gone here in this opening period. We are scoreless. Jankowski through center. We'll battle for it down low then with Montempalo. Nicholas Montempalo will chip this one off the boards back to center. Here comes Stützle. Stützle, one-on-one. Pass up top then. At the point, Gilbert a drive, and that one goes wide. Intercepted then by the Hurricanes, who will play it back the other way. Hall into the zone to center. Shoots it. Saved by Olmark with the pad. Hall tried to get it up top to Robinson. It's blocked. He recovers. Stankoven to drive. He scores! Logan Stankoven opens up the scoring. And the Hurricanes lead 1-0. For the third straight game, the Hurricanes open up the scoring. And it's red-hot Logan Stankoven, his third goal of the series. And Carolina takes a 1-0 lead. What's up, Spencer? How we doing? So many long names on these teams. Yep, you're right about that. Logan Stankoven opens up the scoring from Taylor Hall and Eric Robinson. And this line has been the hottest line in the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. By far. They've been incredible. They contributed on all the goals in Game 1. Had I believe, a goal or two in Game 2. Unreal. Stankoven is cooking. Anderson out of his own net then. Back up top to center. Jackson Blake will give it back down low then, and Carolina will regroup. Miller trying to get it to center, broken up then by the Sens. Puck will go back into the Ottawa zone, and that'll be an icing against Carolina. So not ideal here for Ottawa. Again, this is the third straight game where the Senators have opened up the scoring, and all three of the goals have come from Stankoven. Talk about a clutch performer. And that's exactly what you want. Again, you start off the game leading, like, immediately you're in a good spot, of course. Face-off one here by Carolina. They will get it back to center. Taylor Hall up top to Blake. Blake, a shot. That one is blocked. Puck will slide over then. Here comes Thomas Chabot now through center. Chabot will fire it in there on Anderson. He'll chip it off the boards and back to center. Jackson Blake ahead then for Carrier. Carrier moves to center. He's tripped and he runs into Olmark. And Olmark appears to be okay. We will keep on playing. Senators will force a turnover here. Here's Chabot. Chabot will dump it back to center. Zetterlund battling for on the right side. Grab back up top then by Cousins. Cousins, a shot! Denied there by Anderson was Eller. Eller down low in the corner then to Nick Cousins. The physical force there. Down low in the corner, getting it back is Zetterlund. Zetterlund tried to get it over to Eller. Pass was blocked. Canes will force it back to center. Ehlers fighting for it then with Sanderson. Jake Sanderson will come back in his own zone to regroup. Sanderson will chip this one off the boards and all the way back into the Carolina zone. Anderson out for that puck. Battling for it down low then, Warren Fogle in the corner. Fogle battling for it then with Amadio. Stahl to Ehlers. Thrown back to center. Montempallo chipped off the boards then. Chatfield will get it ahead and back into the Ottawa zone. Olmark out of his own net. Fires it around then for Clevin. Clevin back down low in the corner to Montempallo. Montempallo will chip it back to center. Here's Amadio with some room. He'll take it on the Carolina net. Pass in front. Nobody is there. Getting it back down low then is Pinto. Sens will recover. Amadio feeds it up top. Chabot over then spins a drive, and that one is blocked as well. At the point, Chabot will fire that one on, and it goes up and out of play with 12:14 to go in the opening period. Studio update here. Thank you for Taco Tom saying it. Sabres and Bruins are tied at 0 after 20 minutes of play in that game. We have a penalty coming up here now. It looks like it's going to be against Ottawa. Michael Amadio will head to the box for tripping, and Carolina will get the first power play of the game. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are on the push to 6,200 subscribers. We are about 80 subs away. Thank you all so much for your support here on the commentaries this week. What's up, Bathtub Jim? How we doing? Twins are losing again? Of course they are. And don't forget, I said it once, I'll say it again. We will be live in the first intermission of this game, unboxing a box of Series 2 Upper Deck hockey cards, hunting for that Matthew Schaefer rookie card. So that is what we'll be doing here in this first intermission. No problem, Jane. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Jays are kind of struggling too. You're right about that. So are my Phillies. 9 games in a row, baby. 9 games in a row. We're going for 10 losses in a row in Philadelphia. Shots are even here after about a little under 8 minutes to go. Carolina is going to get a power play here in this opening period. The first power play of the game tonight. Forgot to pull up my NHL stats. Was I going to mention it? Saw it earlier. Yeah, walk-off win, too, for the Cubs. It was probably their best game they've played since going on the losing streak, to be honest. But they still can't win. Sanchez pitched horribly. Sanchez was pretty bad. Power play coming up here now for Carolina. It's Amadio to the box for tripping. Faceoff is immediately won back by the Sens. Montempallo will chip it off the boards. Down low in the corner. Getting it back Sanderson will try and clear. Kept in by Carolina. Stall in the corner then for Aho. Broken up then by the Sens, who will clear it all the way back down the other way. Anderson will give it back then for Shane Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere will drop it back then for Sebastian Aho. Aho into the zone, will fumble the puck and force back to center. You're right about that, Jim. You're right about that. Atlanta's in a good spot. We play them next, actually, so wonderful. Here's Aho. Dropping it back then to Ehlers. Off the boards into the zone then Jarvis. Played all the way back to center then Miro Heiskanen. Shane Gostisbehere will get it back to Svechnikov. Svechnikov up top then. At the point then Jarvis intercepted by the Sens, and they will clear it down the other way. Halfway through the Carolina power play. Kicking it back then is Nikolai Ehlers, who will move it through center. Ehlers. Cross-ice pass in the Stankoven, broken up by Ottawa. Now Tyler Kleven will hold it here in his own end. Kleven dumps it down low into the Carolina zone. Getting it back then is Taylor Hall, chipped off the boards. Here's Logan Stankoven. Stankoven drops it back then for Ehlers. Ehlers into the zone, will backhand it down low into the corner. Battling for it down low is Hall. Up top Nikishin, cross-ice pass, Blake, a shot! Denied by Omar, rebounds in front, denied as well. Huge saves there by Omar, and the Sens will force it back to center. What a move by Greg. 15 seconds to go here on the Canes power play. Blake moves it up top, broken up by Ottawa, and all the way back to center. That'll pretty much do it here for the Carolina power play. Blake to Nikishin, a drive, and that one goes up and out of play. A good kill by the Senators. They receive a bit of an ovation from their fans. And now it's time for the momentum to shift for Ottawa and start getting some goals on. Jays are full of injuries, and the worst pitcher ever, Hoffman. Yeah, Hoffman sucked. He has not been good. Carolina's power play. Now 0 for 1 tonight. Face-off coming up here now into the Ottawa zone. Hurricanes power play 16% here in these playoffs, and that number lowers further. Face-off one back then by the Canes. On the right side, Walker battling for it then with Shabbat. Back down low into the corner, Spence. Back over to Shabbat. Shabbat will get it back to center then for Ottawa. Battling for it down low in the corner is Cousins with Walker. It's picked back up then by Carolina. They will clear it to center. Giroux, cross-ice pass to Cousins. Up top now, Gregg. Gregg, a shot denied by Anderson. Who gets the glove on that? We have crossed over the midway point here of this opening period. We will step aside. Hurricanes and Senators. And a 1-0 lead for Carolina. Shots are 6-4 in favor of the Canes. Again, this is another rough start for Ottawa. You really want the Sens to really kind of, or at least you wanted them to take control of this game early, feed off of the home playoff atmosphere, but it doesn't seem like that's what's happened so far. Good kill, though, by Ottawa on that power play. You definitely need to kill those off. If Trout stays healthy, maybe the Angels can do something this year. Maybe they've looked solid. I've enjoyed the Angels. I'll pay more attention to it when it's when the playoffs are over. So a 1-0 lead for Carolina after 20 minutes of play. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Ignore this. Ignore the subscriber goal. I forgot to change it to 6,200, so I apologize for that. Because, of course, I forgot. Of course I forgot, yep. Jays have a big-time team. Yeah, a lot of their guys are hurt, though, so you got to give it time. What's up, Skibbees? What's up, Spider-Man? How we doing? Got your Bruin game on? Nice. We'll be live for Sabres and Bruins game 4. I think that's on Sunday, right? There's a 2-day break in between that one. Face-off coming up here now in the Carolina zone. One back by the Sens. Spencer shot. That one is blocked in front by Stützle. And now Chatfield getting into it with Spence. And I think Stützle blocked the Spence shot. Or something happened, but Stützle's down. He'll get up on his own, but that is not good news for Ottawa. And we'll see the replay here. Off the draw, Spence fired it into Stützle. Oh, no, and for some reason, Chatfield got into it with him. Wow. Penalty coming up here. It's against the Sens. Off of that Spence play. And I'm not exactly sure why they're giving Spence a penalty here. Not exactly sure what that call is there. Interference? Oh, it's Batherson for interference. Okay, it wasn't Spence. It was Batherson. Well, Brian, Batherson just took a penalty. So, all right, power play coming up for Carolina. Face-off is won by the Senators. They will clear it back down the other way and down into the Carolina zone. Here's Anderson giving it back then for Nikishin. Nikishin will drop it back then ahead for Stankoven, who will move it through center. Logan Stankoven up top then for Ehlers, and a whistle blown dead for an offsides at 9:24. What's up, Spencer? How we doing? Welcome to the stream, brother. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Face-off coming up here now in the Ottawa zone is won back by Carolina. Ehlers drops it back down low then for Nikishin. Nikishin cross-ice pass to Stankoven. Ahead then now, Ehlers will move it into the Ottawa zone. Blake battling for it then down low alongside Greer. Sanderson trying to get that one back in the corner. Picking it back up, Sanderson, and cleared back up top. Kept in by the Canes. Taylor Hall down low to Ehlers. Ehlers up top to Nikishin. Circling pass. Ehlers down low then for Stankoven. Saucer pass there. Denied by Ullmark. And what a play by Stankoven trying to get it to Taylor Hall. But it was broken up. I haven't done Canes and Sens. I've only done Canes and Sens once. We'll be live for game 4 of Bruins and Sabres on Sunday, but decided to do Canes and Sens. Haven't been live for Canes and Sens since the first day of the playoffs. Face-off won by the Canes. Ehlers up top. Shot on by Jarvis is blocked. Canes will recover. Gostisbehere to Jarvis. Back on the right side then with it is Gostisbehere. Stahl up top. Gostisbehere fires it. That one is blocked and thrown back to center. Yeah, I go by a schedule, Taco. I have a schedule that I run by. Here's Svechnikov into the zone. Shot on there. Saved by Ullmark. Thomas Chabot battling for it down low in the corner. Trying to get this one free as Aho. Up top, Gostisbehere. Cross-ice pass then. Ehlers. Below the line, Nikolai Ehlers up top. Ehlers. Down low then for Svechnikov. Fires it on. That one goes wide. Sens battling for it here on the right side. Cleared back to center. Gostisbehere will gain the line. Cross-ice pass to Svechnikov. Battling for it then. Intercepted by Ottawa, who will get it to center. Stützle, 1-on-2. Moves to center, shorthanded. Stützle will cycle it around. Power play comes to a close. Another good kill by Ottawa. Down low shot from Cousins, a drive. And that one goes wide. Canes will bank it back up to center, or at least they try to. Montepallo a shot. Denied there by Anderson. Stützle to Cousins, a shot. And that one is denied as well. Here's Gostisbehere now, backhanding it down low into the Ottawa zone. Spence will get it back then for Ottawa. Shots are 7-6 in favor of the Hurricanes. Cleared off the boards and back into the Carolina zone with 7:08 to go. That'll be an icing. Thank you, VPN. Yeah, man, I'll be live for Sabres and Bruins, though. We will be live for that. Don't worry. Thank you, though. Yeah, we're doing Kings and Avs. Kings and Avs later on tonight, round 1, game 3. Also, we are unboxing this pack of cards, or this box of cards, in the first intermission of this game, so stay tuned. Face-off in the Ottawa zone. Greg versus Stankoven. Face-off one back then by the Sens. Montemalo will chip it back into the Carolina zone. Getting it back down low, Slavin. Cross-ice pass then. Up top for Taylor Hall. Hall into the zone. Shoots it. He fans on the puck. Taylor Hall now behind the Carolina net. Up top to Stankoven. Broken up then by the Canes. Slavin battling for it down low. Blake fighting here with Clevin. On the right side, Brady Tkachuk will dump it to center. Amadio on the right side, stolen back then by the Canes. Here's Blake. Spin around move there on Spence. Moves to center, denied by Olmark. What a play by Jackson Blake. And the puck goes out of play. Yeah, that Schaefer's going for a lot of money, Taco. I'm hoping I pull it. I'm hoping I'll pull it maybe twice. There's a series that I'm doing on the side right now that's going to come out in the summer where I'm hunting for a Matthew Schaefer rookie card. But that series won't drop till the summer. I'm hoping I pull one here on stream and in the series hunt for Schaefer, so then that way I can sell one of them and make some of my money back. No, I don't think there'll be a Martone Prospects card. That's next year. Face-off here in the Ottawa zone, won by the Sens. They'll dump it down low into the Carolina zone. Icing against Ottawa. Oh, my goodness. Solid game here so far. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. We are 80 subs away from 6,200. Shot on there from the point, denied by Olmark. And he gets the cover. Brother-in-law Mario has a ticket for tonight for Game 3. Calling between periods, the Kings diehard. Nice. Good for him. I wonder how much those tickets were. I looked at Flyers tickets. They were expensive. They were pretty expensive. No way a broke college kid like me could afford those. Face-off in the Ottawa zone, won by Carolina. Ehlers. Up top then Jarvis. Cross-ice pass to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere a shot. And that one is blocked in front. Here's Svechnikov. Up top then Gostisbehere a drive. And that one goes wide there. Volmark rebound in front for Aho. Broken up. Ehlers. Battling for it down low in the corner. Stolen back then by the Sens. They will break it through center. Ehlers to Pinto. Pass over. And it's just wide. Carolina will hold it now here in their own end. Gostisbehere holds it behind the Carolina net, looking for options. Gostisbehere back down low to Miller. Oop, I'm pressing every button but the right one. Here's Miller behind his own net. We'll look for options here. Up top then for Ehlers. Nikolai Ehlers will move it through center. 3-on-3. He'll get around the D. Fires it on. That one goes wide. Martinuk to Ehlers. Pass in front to Stahl is broken up. Canes get it back. Miller. Cross-ice pass then. Jarvis' shot. That one is blocked. Clevin gets it back for Ottawa. Here's Batherson trying to bank that one up top. He will throw it to center. Canes will recover and clear it back down low. Yeah, they were expensive. $350. Here's Marnock up top then for Robinson, who fans on the pass. Eric Robertson down to Marnock. Puck is tipped away. Clevin behind the net then to Zetterlund. Here in the Ottawa zone, Stutzla will clear it back to center. Yeah, look, there's no way I can justify it. Here's Jankowski battling for it now with Spence. Down low in the corner here now is Cousins off the boards for Stutzla. Whistle blown dead at 4:31. I'm not exactly sure for what. And is there another penalty coming up here? When's the draft lottery? I think it's early May. I think we'll be live for that, though. Don't worry. And it looks like we're going to have a power play come up for Carolina yet again. Too many men call, it looks like, for the Senators. Canes will head back to the power play. Yeah, not great. Not a great start here for Ottawa. The fact that they've taken 3 penalties here in this first period is not great. Again, I said this last night when we were talking about it. I really feel like the referees, and I wonder if you guys agree with me. I feel like the referees are calling so much in these playoffs compared to other playoff runs. I really don't think I've seen this many penalties be called. Like in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, there were brawls, of course, but like it seemed like they were calling everything under the sun. This live stream is brought to you by Cough Drops. I'm almost out. I only have like a couple more in here, so this should last me through tonight, and then I might have to go get more tomorrow. But my voice is doing solid so far. Yeah, they're killing themselves for sure. I mean, like, again, I still think the refs are calling so much. Thank you, Daniel. Update in Bruins and Sabres. Tanner Jeannot makes it a 1-0 lead for Boston. Assisted by Charlie McAvoy. It's a 1-0 lead for the Bruins with 16 minutes to go in the second period. 4:31 to go in this one. Carolina's going to get their third power play of the game. It'll be a too-many-men call. Here's Ridley Gregg. We'll clear it off the boards, back to center. Down low now into the Carolina zone. Anderson. Back over then to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere will drop it back then for Aho. Up top then, Gostisbehere battling forward with Sanderson. Sanderson will clear that one to center for the Sens. Frederik Andersen will drop that one down low then. Grabbing it back is Shane Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere will drop it back then for Ehlers. Ehlers off the boards, intercepted by the Sens. Here's Stützle, shorthanded, fumbles the puck, and Ehlers recovers for Carolina. Frustration here for the Sens for sure. Here's Ehlers. Back over to Svechnikov. Svechnikov then up top, Gostisbehere. Cross ice pass to Jarvis. Jarvis in the corner then, down low behind the net, Chabot battling for it. On the right side, Chabot will get it back into the Carolina zone. Anderson gives it back then for Nikishin. Nikishin now will move it through center. Stankoven into the zone. Will backhand it down low into the corner. Chabot battling for it. Then Ehlers comes in. Backhand on. Can't get it there. Here's Amadio battling for it then with Nikishin. Stankoven keeps it in the zone. 3 minutes to go in this first period. 30 seconds on the power play. Blake to Nikishin. Off the boards then. Blake right side. Getting it back then is Taylor Hall. Hall up top to Blake. Jackson Blake now on the right side for Carolina. Up top Nikishin. 15 seconds to go. Jackson Blake down low to Hall. Hall to Blake. Up top. Hall in front. Blocked by Ullmark. Now a rebound for Blake. And right there was Ehlers, but he could not convert. Getting it back then is Stankoven. Power play will come to a close. Another solid kill. Ehlers' shot is denied. Getting it back then for Ottawa, Chabot. Through center, a 3-on-3. Amadio for Chabot. Chabot at the line. Takes it down low, fires it on Anderson, who makes the save. In front, Amadio, a good chance there, goes wide and out of play once again. You can really see the frustration here in this one tonight. You can really see the frustration from Ottawa. They really just not seemingly getting anything to go their way. Shots 9-7 in favor of the Hurricanes. Face-off coming up here now in the Carolina zone. It'll be Stützle versus Stahl. Face-off is a tie-up in the Carolina end. Miller battling forward then with Tkachuk. Keandre Miller off the boards then. Chatfield will clear it back to center. Carrier chipped off the boards, battling forward with Sanderson. Jordan Stahl on the right side. Back over then for Spence. Spence then to Tkachuk. Tkachuk back to Batherson, battling forward on the right side, then pick back up to center. Stahl battling for it down low. Senators will come back and regroup on their own end. Jordan Spence will gain the line and dump it down low into the Carolina zone. Here's Walker battling forward with Tkachuk. Walker will chip it off the boards to center. Svechnikov ahead then for Jarvis. Svechnikov down low. Then here's Walker. A chance denied there. Taken back by Aho. Up top, Walker. Back down low. Denied by Ullmark. What a block. Batherson now will clear it back to center for Ottawa. Getting it back then on the right side is Aho. Aho battling for it then to center. Here's Fogle. Fogle into the zone. Shoots it. Denied by Anderson. Cousins' a shot in front is blocked. Carolina will get it back to center. Here's Chatfield. Dumping it down low into the Ottawa end. Here's Nick Montempalo. Back for Giroux. Giroux over then to Cousins. Cousins with some room to center. Denied by Anderson. Fogle battling for it then with Taylor Hall. 40 seconds to go in this opening period. Here's Taylor Hall. Down the right side. Hall shot on Ullmark. He'll make the save. Cleared back to center. Here come the Sens. Montempalo to Cousins. He'll get around Gostisbehere and the play is broken up. Carolina will get it back in their own end. Less than 30 to go. Dump back to center. Getting it back then is Clevin. In the Ottawa zone up top then. Here's Nick Cousins through center. Cousins to Spence. A shot. Goes up in the air and out of play. Shots 10-9 in favor of Carolina. It's a 1-0 lead for the Hurricanes. Senators are playing solid, but seemingly they're not being able to get anything through. 10 seconds left in this opening period. Face-off coming up here now in the Carolina zone. It's won back by the Hurricanes. Getting it back down low is Miller. Keandre Miller behind his own net. Then 3 seconds to go. Time will wind down, and that will do it for period number 1. End of 20 here in Ottawa. The Hurricanes have taken a 1-0 lead. The third straight game where Logan Stankoven has opened the scoring. And that being said, folks, it is intermission time. Go get a snack, go get a drink, do what you got to do, and stick around because we are going to be unboxing a box of Series 2 hockey cards coming up in just a moment. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement. We are just over 80 subs away from 6,200. So be sure to subscribe down below if you're new. All right. Are we ready? Everybody in the chat, are we ready to unbox the Series 1 box? Let me know in the chat if you're ready and we'll get started. Are we ready to go? Studio update in Sabres and Bruins. It's still 1-0 Boston with about 13:31 to go. Sabres look like they're about to go on a power play. So we'll get ready for that here coming up in just a moment. But let's rip and let's get into the box of Upper Deck cards here. All right, so there's 4 big packs here in the box. There's 4 big packs. Again, they make the boxes look bigger than what they actually are. The probability of us getting Schaefer is pretty unlucky, but we'll see if we get the luck here to go on our side. All right, first pack of the box. Maybe we'll get some other good pulls too. Again, it's not just the Schaefer we're looking for. Maybe we'll get a Dazzlers or something like that. Maybe we'll get something nice. And again, before we get into the rips here, I do want to say thank you all so much for your support. If it weren't for you guys and you guys' donations and the revenue that I make off these streams, we would not be doing this. This is my way of giving back to you guys, not just in the commentary streams. When you guys donate, when you guys put money towards the channel, and I really appreciate it, a lot of it goes into this. A lot of it is going into the cards and rips and other stuff that we do in the streams. So anyway, you guys don't care about that. Or you guys do, but you guys don't want to hear about that anymore. Let's get into the rips. All right. First card is Braden Shen. Second card is another sideways card, Tage Thompson. Third card here is going to be Noel Achari, now that we get past the sideways cards. Fourth pull of the box, Jeremy Swayman. Pretty nifty one there. If you guys can see that, looks like the glare is fine, so you guys can see the cards there. Next up is a slaps for JT Miller. Miller there, pretty interesting pull, I guess. We'll put the special cards aside, and we'll go over them at the end of the rip. Next up here now is a UD canvas for Tom Wilson. Oh, that's not too bad there. I'll take that. Coming up then is a vibing for, look at that, Frederick Anderson. Isn't that ironic? Freddie Anderson in this game. Currently, we got a rips for him. So that's pretty nifty there. Next up is a David Perron. And then you get to a Eric Gustafson. Is he still even with the Red Wings? You got a Philip Gustafson, a William Eklund, and a Alex Ovechkin. So that's the OV pool there. There we go. No Young Guns in the first pack. And for those who are curious, we're going to unbox these all in the first intermission. We are unboxing all 3 packs in the first intermission. All right, pack number 2. We'll see if this one's a little bit more luckier. Throw these into my overflowing trash can. I got to probably fix that tomorrow. We got a checklist to start. This is 31 to 450, Eichel and Thompson. Pretty nice pull there. Next up, got a Marcus Pettersson. After that, then a Will Borgen. Coming up here, another sideways card. This is a Nick Seeler. Seeler scored a goal yesterday, in fact. And now we got an encore for Sam Reinhart. After that, a Young Gun for Hunter Brushevix. Young Gun for Hunter Brushevix. So a pretty nice pull there. This could be the only Young Gun in the pack. Sometimes there's more than one. So the odds are not over yet, but Hunter Brushevix there, pretty nice pull. I don't think I have him yet, so we will add him to my Young Gun collection. After that, then a glow up for Marco Kasper. Kasper's had a rough year. He's not played well. After that, then a Will Cooley. Got a Wyatt Johnston, not a Jason Robertson, my bad. And then a Kyle McLean. Who is that? Nils Amon. Wow, what a pull there, Nils Amon. And then Maverick Bork. All right, halfway through the pack ripping here. A little recap so far on the special cards we got. We got a glow up for Casper. We got a glossy for Sam Reinhart. Our first and hopefully not the last Young Gun of this pack. Sometimes they give me 2. I did pull one earlier this year with 2. Hunter Brushevix. Hopefully that's not the rookie of this pack. A vibing for Freddie Anderson. A UD canvas for Tom Wilson. And a slaps for JT Miller. So there you go. All right, that is our first half of pulls here. Let's get into pack number 3. Pack number 3 here. There's still a chance. Yeah, they usually give you 1 Young Gun for Blaster, but I have pulled a couple of retail boxes that do have 2 Young Guns, so it's not the end of the world yet. With the amount of money and donations we've had this month, maybe I'll go buy a Blaster. We'll see. Next month. All right, third pack here of the box, Lane Hudson. Up next then is Vinny Desharnais. Getting to it then, Jordan Marnook scored the overtime winner in Game 2 of this series. After that, got an Anthony Beauvillier. And then after that, got a Barrett Hayton. And a Dazzlers pull for Evan Rodriguez. So there's the Dazzlers of the box. After that, then, got another glossy. It's for Artemi Panarin. No longer with the Rangers, of course, but there you go. A vibing for Charlie Lindgren. Pretty nifty pull there. After that, got a Nick Foligno, a Michael Bunting, a Jordan Bennington, and an Alex Tuck. All right, that's the third pack of the box. Time for the final pack here. Gotta do some praying here. Could we get the Schaefer? Probably not, because we already had our young gun in the box, but we'll see. Final pack here of this box to start. I did buy a hobby box last month, but did not pull a Schaefer, annoyingly. All right, Casey DeSmith is the first box. After that, Uri Slavkovsky. Next up is Adrian Kempe. After that, Brandon Saad. A young gun for Danila Yurov. So we did get two young guns. There you go. Two young guns there. Danila Yurov is the second young gun pull. Not too bad. Brushevic's a solid prospect for Calgary. And then the young gun there for Yurov. Not too bad. After that, a glow up for Connor McMichael. A encore for Brady Martin. And then if you know, you know, for Dylan Gunther. And then after that, to end off the box, Alex Killorn. A Joel Farabee. Another checklist for Caulfield and Jack Hughes there. That's 251 to 350. And then to end off the box, Derek Forbert. Yeah, not the greatest box in the world. Spent $20 on that box. Kind of would love my money back. Not a great box there for sure. A little disappointing. Our luck seemingly did not go the way we thought it would. Some solid pulls though. Let me just go through them here really quick. Encore for him. Dazzlers, the UD Canvas is pretty nice. I'll take the young guns. The rest I'll put into here. All right. Here are the pulls of the box. Hunter Brushevic's young gun. So we did get two young guns. At least there's a plus there, a silver lining on that. UD Canvas for Tom Wilson. Kind of would like my money back, yep. A Dazzlers for Evan Rodriguez. A encore for Brady Martin. And then another young gun for Danila Yurov. And that is the box, pretty much. Yeah, not the worst thing. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst box we could have pulled. At least we got some decent pulls there. But nothing too great. Or nothing what we wanted. So, unfortunate there. But that's the Unbox with Nordic for the month. Again, guys, thank you all so much for your donations. The donations are what really go back into this. Again, the donations and the revenue that are made on these streams, they go back into the channel. We buy packs of cards and unbox them on the stream. Maybe we'll do another one in a week or so. Maybe we'll do another one here next week or tomorrow if I build the courage up to go buy another box. But again, you guys donating, you guys putting in your time and the money into these streams, I really appreciate it. It all goes back into the channel. So thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are just over 80 subs away from 6,200, and now we get ready for period number 2 in about 7 minutes. Bought 4 of the $40 boxes, and you're not up. Yeah, that sucks. They do have tins. Maybe the tins will have a Schaefer. I don't know. I bought a full-ass hobby box last month, unboxed it in my 200th stream, and we still didn't get it. So it's been really hard hunting for this card. It really has been. Yeah, 4 for 40 is not too bad though, Taco. That's pretty not that bad. Twins are losing. Ah, that sucks. How are you that freaking bad? Huh. All right. Update the all-time scoring sheet here. How much is a hobby? 180. Here where I am, it's a 180. I had to go to a card store and buy it. I wanted to buy two. I was hoping to buy two, but like that's like $260. That's like nuts. But maybe, just maybe, we'll go buy a hobby box next month because you guys have been very kind to me this month. So maybe I will give back to you guys and rip one of those in a later stream. During the off season, we will have a couple of live streams during the off season, maybe like a couple times a month, and we'll unbox a couple of card packs in there, just for fun and talk during the off season. Keep you guys in the loop with everything that's going on, getting ready for the commentaries in 2026-27. So maybe we'll do that. Update in Sabres and Bruins. Bowen Byram has tied the game for Buffalo. Assisted by Noah Ostlund and Owen Power. It's a 1-1 game. A 1-1 game in Sabres and Bruins. Yes, sir, Daniel. Sabres score. All right, update the all-time stat sheet here. Shots after 20 minutes of play here are 10-8 in favor of Carolina. Have an autographed Mays photo card show in San Jose worth something? I have no idea with autographed photos. I would look it up on eBay, look up like that player's name and like an autographed photo and see how much it's going for, and I would probably base it off of that. All right. Can I call ball games in the summer or NFL? I would love to call baseball games, but I have no idea how to call them. I need a couple years to learn the game of baseball, and maybe eventually I could do that. We'll see, though. I don't know. That's not necessarily something I'm planning on doing, but wouldn't mind doing it at some point. Autograph photo probably worth lots. It depends on the person. It depends on who it is. Anybody watching the NFL draft? I know that's going on as of right now. So again, don't forget, I forgot to address this earlier. We will be live for Kings and Avs at 10 o'clock. Chances are we could miss a little bit of that game if this game goes to extra time, but we'll see. We'll be live for that game here after this one tonight. Oh, wow, my DiPietro video blew up. Oh, my God. Almost 2,000 views. Yeah, if you got authentication, yeah, you get it appraised, and it gets authentication. I think I'm saying that right. You'll it should be worth some good money. All right, period number 2 coming up here in just a moment, guys. Stick around. And as always, thank you all so much for tuning in. All right. Signed it in front of me. Well, yeah, but you still have to get it authenticated because some people don't believe you. Hit a Celebrini from a 10. They're 50 a target. Nice. Yeah, I think they're 50 here too. Alrighty, everybody, let's get ready for the start of period number 2 between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators. First period recap. The only goal was scored by Logan Stankoven to make it a 1-0 lead for Carolina after 20 minutes of play. Getting ready for your stats through 20. Shots are 10-8 in favor of the Hurricanes. Faceoffs were 55% in favor of Carolina. Power plays, Carolina 0 for 3. Ottawa didn't have a power play tonight. Hits are 17-9 in favor of the Sens, and block shots are 9-5 in favor of Ottawa. Period number 2 is underway. Carolina will grab it down low in the Canes zone. Battling for then is Martinook alongside Tkachuk. Up top, Walker. Back down low then. Ottawa still trying to pressure it here. Cousins. Pass over then, broken up by the Canes. Clear to center then, Ehlers. And the pass is blocked and taken back by Carolina. Jordan Martinook off the boards then to Ehlers, a shot. And that one goes wide there of Ullmark. Cleared back to center, here's Brady Tkachuk. Off the boards then for Greg. Up top, Tkachuk fumbles the puck there, battling for it down low then with Chatfield. Slavin. Off the boards to center. Kept in then by Tkachuk, who will dump it down low into the corner. Getting it back then behind the net is Ehlers. Ehlers over to Chatfield. Chatfield will chip it back to center then. Jarvis off the boards for Aho. Aho loops it around up top then for Chatfield. Cross-ice pass comes out of the zone, and the Canes will be forced to regroup at center. Ottawa breaks it up. Here's Pinto. Racing for a loose puck down low in the Carolina zone. He'll chip it around then for Foegele. Foegele brings it in front. Tied up there. Shot on, denied. Here's Amadio. Back down low in the corner then for Pinto. Hey, John, thank you for the $5 dono. Penalty coming up here against the Hurricanes and a Senators power play coming up. Thank you, John. I appreciate it, brother. That means a lot. You guys have been so kind to me in these playoffs. Thank you so much, John. And again, those donations, they go back into the channel. We'll get some more hockey cards and rip them here. As well as that, too, it also pays for the TV subscriptions to stream the games, the overall revenue, not just the donations, obviously. But my overall YouTube revenue pays for TV subscriptions as well. Sens are just outmatched. It certainly feels like that. Maybe the Sens can flip the script here on the power play. Face-off coming up in the Carolina zone, won by the Sens. Sanderson, a shot denied there by Anderson. Stützle to Sanderson. Over to Cousins, a drive, gloved by Anderson as well. Freddie Anderson having to make some huge saves. And good movement there by the Sens to corral that puck. Ottawa has not scored a power play goal yet in these playoffs. They have certainly struggled here on the power play. Maybe this is the time to change that around. Face off again in the Carolina zone as a tie-up. It's won back then by the Sens. Sanderson crosses past to Stützle. Here's Cousins. Back down low then for Batherson. Drake Batherson down low below the line then for Carolina. Batherson for Stützle. Up top, Sanderson. Pass over then for Cousins. Cousins intercepted by Carolina, who will clear it back into the Ottawa zone. Yeah, not the greatest one, JJ, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll try again in a later stream. Here's Tim Stützle now through center, back to Tkachuk. Tkachuk up top then for Sanderson. Jake Sanderson over then for Cousins. Cousins fighting with Chatfield. Puck is cleared back to center. And now Ottawa regroups in their own end. Halfway through The Ottawa power play. Sanderson will drop it back then for Stützle. Stützle into the zone, down low to the corner. Stützle dumps it around then for the Canes, who will clear it back down the other way. Ullmark will give it back behind the net then for Chabot. Thomas Chabot carries it through center then for Ottawa. Drops it back then to Claude Giroux. Giroux into the zone. Back over then for Pinto. Pinto broken up then by the Canes, who will dump it down the other way. Senators will regroup with it back in their own zone. Less than 30 to go on the power play. Chabot drops it back then for Giroux. Giroux into the zone now, carries it through center, in front, backhand on pass over. It was in the crease, but cleared away by the Canes. And back into the Ottawa zone. And that'll pretty much do it here for the Senators power play. Another failed man advantage for Ottawa. And they still remain trying to find an answer. Puck is dumped back to center then. Clevin trying to clear it to center. Chatfield off the boards to center. Canes will get it back. And a whistle blown dead here at 16-16 for, I think, a high stick or a hand pass. Not exactly sure. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement. It's greatly appreciated. Face-off coming up here now outside of the Ottawa zone. Shots are 10-10 in this second period. Stankoven will take the draw against Ridley Gregg. The face-off is won back by Carolina. Nikishin will dump it down low into the Ottawa zone. Montempalo back to Sanderson. Sanderson will chip it off the boards, then up top, then shooting it in past Ullmark and out of play. 16:04. Well-played game here so far by Carolina. It's a bit of a boring system, but it works the way they need it to. Face-off here in the Ottawa zone. Stankoven versus Cousins. Yeah, I agree with that, Palm Beach. They definitely struggled against the Kings. I'm not sure they'll be able to win the cup. At center now, battling for it is Cousins. Tkachuk gets it here into the Carolina zone. Tkachuk trying to clear it down low. Stankoven intercepted by Gregg. Gregg up top to Tkachuk. Shoots it. That one's blocked. Intercepted then by Carolina. Here's Blake. Over then to Stankoven. Stankoven a shot. Deflects up in the air. And back down low to the corner. Dylan Cousins battling for it. Then penalty coming up as the referee raises his arm. And I think it's going to be on the Canes. Power play coming up for Ottawa. Unless they call anything here from this after the whistle scrum. But I think Ottawa is going to get another power play opportunity. It looks like they will. So we'll see if Ottawa can convert on this second power play here of the game. Again, they have yet to score on their power play so far. Taylor Hall will head to the box. What, Cadence? What? I know what this is going to be, but I'll bite. What? Ottawa power play here. Shots are 10-10 with about 15 and a half minutes to go in this second period. The Sens need a goal. Face-off coming up in the Carolina zone. Second power play of the game for Ottawa. Face-off is won back by the Hurricanes. Slavin will dump it back into the Ottawa zone. Second unit will start out here for Ottawa on this man advantage. Chabot carries it through center. Dropping it back then to Claude Giroux. Giroux to center. Off the boards to Zetterlund. Giroux will dump it down low in the corner. Martinook battling forward. It's cleared all the way back into the Ottawa zone. Here's Ullmark. Gives it back then to Chabot. Here's Chabot now through center to Giroux. Giroux to Fogle. Claude Giroux on the right side, then brings it below the line, then battling forward with Chatfield. Giroux fighting alongside Fogle, intercepted then by the Hurricanes and cleared back into the Ottawa zone. Halfway through the Senators' power play. Pinto to Sanderson. Sanderson will drop it back then for Cousins. Cousins gets around the defense. Down low in the corner, then battling forward alongside Stützle. Tim Stützle trying to throw a pass up top, broken up by the Canes. Here they come the other way. It's Aho, shorthanded. Will bring it into the Ottawa zone. Down low, then getting back is Ehlers and intercepted quickly by Sanderson, who will move it back to center. He's hit at the line. Intercepted by Cousins. Cousins to Stützle. Stützle back down low to Cousins. Chipped off the boards, Tkachuk. Up top, Sanderson. Back down low, then Batherson. Drake Batherson then back to Cousins. Cousins a shot, it's blocked. And the Canes will get it back and flip it to center. 15 seconds to go on the Ottawa power play. Tkachuk carries it down low, battling for it then alongside Jankowski. Cross-ice pass, in on a shot there, Spencer drive. And that one goes out of play. 6 seconds remaining on the power play. The Sens have yet to get a single shot on their 2 power plays in this game so far. Frustrating if you're a Sens fan, for sure. And yeah, you can totally see that the frustration is really taking over here in the Senators game for sure. Face off in the Carolina zone, one back by Ottawa. Here's Spence. Up top, Amadio, a drive, saved by Anderson as the power play comes to a close. And a whistle blown dead here now as the puck goes out of play with 13:31 to go. We will step aside. The Sens are putting the pressure on Frederik Andersen. And it remains a 1-0 lead for Carolina through the second period. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. We are a little bit over 80 subs away from 6,200, so subscribe down below if you're new. Sabres and Bruins currently tied at 1 apiece after 40 minutes of play, so heading into the third period. That should be a fun one there. And a fun finish, hopefully. Beer and pizza tonight. I got some pretzels, actually. All right. 13:31 left to go in this second period. Face-off coming up here in the Carolina zone. Round 1, Game 3 of Carolina-Ottawa. Don't forget, later on tonight, we will be live for Kings and Avalanche. That is the later game here on the commentary schedule. Stick around. We'll be live for that later on tonight. Face-off coming up here now in the Carolina zone. It's one back by the Hurricanes, who will clear it to center. Gregg off the boards, then back down low. Slavin ahead to Jankowski. Broken up then by Ottawa. Chipped off the boards by Shabbat and out of play. Not too many beer. No beer for me, just water. Face-off coming up here now. It's going to be at center ice. Giroux versus Stahl. Face-off won by the Canes. They'll dump it down low. Clevin battling for it then with Martinuk. Dennis Gilbert gets it back to center. Stahl Fighting for it now on the right side. Canes will clear it down low. Clevin will take it back then for Ottawa. And now Stützle takes it down the other way. Tim Stützle down the right side. Stützle looking for options. Will throw it down low, then intercepted quickly by the Hurricanes, who will move it through center. Here's Ehlers into the zone. Shoots it there. Denied rebounds in front. And cleared back then behind the net to Gilbert. Dennis Gilbert gets it back then for Ottawa. Here's Stützle. Off the boards then for Batherson. Down low now, Stützle gets it back. Timmy Stu drops it down low. Miller battling for it there with him as well. Fogle on the right side trying to corral the puck. And it comes back to center and a whistle blown dead for an offsides. And now some pushing and shoving ensues some more. Physicality has certainly been a factor here in this one tonight. That's definitely been the narrative. And I mean, again, the frustration from Ottawa is really showing here. They're definitely not happy with the way these games have gone. Face-off coming up here now. It's going to be in the Carolina zone. It'll be Robinson taking the draw against Pinto. Face-off won back by the Hurricanes and cleared back into the Ottawa zone. Jarvis gets it back for the Canes. Down low, Montepallo. Big hit there. Down low in the corner, Pinto. Fighting for it on the right side up top then. Dumped into the zone by Nikishin. Jarvis. Fighting with Montepallo. Fogle's there as well up top. Miller. Back over then for Jarvis. Jarvis, pass over is broken up. Getting it back then is Fogle. Up top, intercepted then by the Canes. Aho. Battling forward with Montepallo. Up top then Walker. Wait, shoots it wide of Ullmark. Jarvis. Up top to Miller. Miller to Jarvis. Jarvis takes it below the line. Battling for it then with Montepallo. Jarvis will play it up to Aho. Aho puts it through his legs up top to Miller. Miller to Walker. At the point then, back for Keandre Miller. Miller to Aho. Crosses pass. Walker a drive. Denied by Ullmark. Canes will regroup. Walker. Down low then for Svechnikov. Svechnikov off the boards then for Aho. Aho up top to Miller. Miller to Aho. Back over then for Blake. Blake shoots it wide there of Ullmark. Here's Aho on the right side then. Back up top to Keandre Miller. Miller here for Carolina. Pass back then for Svechnikov. Up top, Blake. Jackson Blake up top here for Carolina. Blake at the point then for Miller. Miller at the point, back to Blake. A shot blocked in front. Sens will get it back, and they will scramble for that puck. It's kept in by Carolina. The pressure continues. Gostisbehere over for Svechnikov. The whistle's blown dead. And I think we have a penalty. We do. Too many men against the Hurricanes. It'll be a Senators power play. So in the opening period, the Hurricanes had 3 power plays. Now in this second period, the Senators have had 3 power plays. Three penalties for Ottawa in the first period. 3 penalties for Carolina in the second period. And third time's a charm here for Ottawa. We will see, but they definitely need to convert here soon. Face-off coming up now in the Carolina zone. It's Stahl versus Giroux. Off the draw. One back by Carolina. Martinook will chip it off the boards and back down low into the Ottawa zone. Sanderson gets it back then for the Senators. Jake Sanderson ahead then for Batherson. Chipped off the boards and back down low into the Carolina zone. Chatfield fighting with Batherson. Up top then Sanderson, right side to Stützle. Back over then for Tkachuk. Tkachuk battling for it then with Martinook in the corner. Chatfield to Batherson. He's knocked down to the ground, and that'll be another penalty here on the Hurricanes with 10:05 to go. 5-on-3 coming up for Ottawa. This is a massive opportunity here for the Sens. 5-on-3 for Ottawa. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement. We are currently at 42 likes. Thank you all so much for your support on this one. No power play goals here so far tonight, despite all of the penalties. Face off in the Carolina zone. It's Stahl versus Tkachuk. The face-off is won back by Ottawa. Stützle to Batherson. Stützle up top, then to Sanderson. Sanderson to Stützle. Stützle back up top. Sanderson pass over. Tkachuk a drive. Denied by Anderson. And the rebound was there, but Batherson was knocked off that puck. Again, you absolutely need to get shots on. By your logic, the Canes are struggling against the Sens because they're only up by 1. What do you mean? What do you mean, Bathtub? What did I say? Face off in the Carolina zone. Won back then by the Canes. Cleared all the way back into the Ottawa zone. Sens will regroup now in their own end. Here's Chabot, who will drop it back for Stützle. Stützle into the zone. At the point then for Ottawa. Stützle back over then for Batherson. Chabot to Batherson. Down low Stützle. Stützle below the line then. Back down low Giroux to Stützle. Stützle up top to Chabot. He can't keep the puck in the zone. It'll slide back to center. Oh, that's brutal. Here's Batherson. Drops it back for Stützle. The Sens have 30 seconds to go on the first penalty. Cross-ice pass goes off the boards and back to center. What are we doing? Tkachuk for Batherson. Drake Batherson, cross-ice pass to Tkachuk. Tkachuk will drop it back then. Stahl steals it for the Canes, who will get it back to center. 10 seconds to go here on the Ottawa power play. Chabot over then for Stützle. Stützle, he's tripped. Taken back then by the Sens. All the way to center. They will not call that one. First power play is over. Now 5-on-4 for 30 seconds. Giroux will dump it down low. In the corner, Chabot. Up top then, battling for it alongside Svechnikov, who will poke check at the center. Spence. Off the boards then for Cousins. Cousins over then for Foegele. John, I want Ottawa to win this game so the series goes on longer. Here's Pinto battling for it then with Foegele. Intercepted then by Carolina, who will clear it the other way. The penalty is over. And the Hurricanes survive a 5-on-3. That's a disappointing power play for Ottawa. Here's Warren Foegele. Through center. Foegele battling for it then with Walker. In the corner, Ridley Gregg. Battling for it then alongside Stankoven. Gostisbehere fighting as well. Up top, Foegele. Down low in the corner for Gregg, who tries to pick up that loose puck. 7.5 minutes to go. Monempalo up top, shoots it, and that one goes wide. On the right side, chip back to center. Clevin will send it back down low. Canes will move it to center. Dumped back down low into the Ottawa zone. Ullmark for Amadio. Amadio here will move it through center. He'll gain the line and backhand it into the Hurricanes' end. Anderson back to Chatfield. Down low, Carolina clears it back into the Ottawa zone for an icing. With exactly 7 minutes to go. Frustrating. Frustrating there for Ottawa. That was a horrible 5-on-3. That was terrible. They had hardly any shot. I don't think they had a single shot on that sequence. A single shot. I don't think they had a single shot on that 5-on-3. Face-off won back by the Hurricanes. Chatfield intercepted by Eller, who will flip it back to center. Spence to Chabot. who will dump it down low into the Carolina zone. Turnover in front. Here's the save center by Zetterlund, is denied there by Anderson. Puck goes up in the air and out of play. 6:43 left to go in period number 2. The Hurricanes still lead the Sens 1-0. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are just over 80 subscribers away from 6,200. We're at 44 likes as well on the stream. Update in Sabres and Bruins. That game is tied at 1 apiece. And it is still in the second intermission. Getting ready for the third in a moment. And don't forget, after this game is over, we will go live for Kings and Avalanche. That is the later stream here on the commentary. Don't forget, that's later on tonight. Frustrating for Ottawa. You have to be frustrated. Like, they had a 5-on-3. I don't even think they had a single shot. Like, that is just unacceptable. No matter what team you're a fan of, that was unacceptable. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. Greetings from Finland. Welcome. 6:43 left to go. Shots are 13-11 in favor of Ottawa. Sens lead 1-0, Hurricanes lead 1-0. If Carolina wins tonight, they will go up 3-0 on the series. And for Ottawa to come back is rather unlikely, but at least Game 4 is in Ottawa. All right, back here in Canadian Tire Center, we will see if the Senators can keep on fighting back to tie this one up. Ottawa is 0 for 11 on the penalty kill in this series. The frustration has certainly been a massive factor. Face-off in the Carolina zone. And a tie-up is blown dead due to a violation, so we will try again. Face-off in the Carolina zone. Stahl versus Tkachuk. The face-off is one back, and it's a tie-up at center. Tkachuk down low now behind the net. Then Carolina throws it off the boards. Battling for it is Martin McGuiff-Shabbat. On the right side, kept it by Ottawa. Greg down low in front. Tkachuk all alone. Denied by Anderson. He couldn't get it through the 5-hole. Here's Ehlers now clearing it back to center. Getting it back then is Stahl. Jordan Stahl battling for it in the corner then with Spence. Canes will clear it off the boards and back to center. There's the first real chance of the game for Ottawa. And I think Tkachuk fired it wide. In the Carolina zone, Chatfield dumps it into the Ottawa end. Furthermore, Spence getting there first, fighting with Hall. Taylor Hall up top. Slavin shoots it. That one goes wide there of Ullmark. Chatfield, another chance there, goes wide as well. Spence battling for it in the corner then with Blake. Jordan Spence up top then. Cross-ice pass to Chatfield. Chatfield over then. Shut on, goes wide. In front, Stankoven, a shot, save, rebounds. There, denied by Ullmark with the pad. I agree with that. Edger, I agree with that. Amadio will dump this one down low into the Carolina zone. 5:20 left to go in the second period. Huge hit there by Clevin. And here comes Carolina. Hall into the zone. Fires one at Ullmark. And he'll make the save. Brady Tkachuk with a grade A opportunity. And the puck just barely bounces off of Freddie Anderson, and he is pissed. 1-0 lead for Carolina late in the second. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement. Yeah, this has been a brutal night for Ottawa. They are not able to get anything going their way. All right. Thank you all for tuning in as always. Got a good crowd in here. 90 people here in the chat. Appreciate all you guys being here, showing your support on the commentary. Don't forget, later on tonight, Kings and Avalanche, round 1, game 3, will be our later commentary here on the channel. So we will be live later on tonight as well as tomorrow and every single game on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be live all weekend for the playoffs. And we will be live on Monday, but I don't know my schedule yet for Monday. If the Senators win tonight, we'll be live for Game 5 on Monday of that. We'll see. We shall see. Round 1, Game 4 of Mammoth and Golden Knights is that day as well. We'll be live for that. Tomorrow we'll be live for Montreal, Tampa Bay, as well as Golden Knights and Mammoth. Face-off is won. It's tied up at center. Then Sanders and battling forward with Amadio. Cleared back to center. Giroux fighting with Miller. Carolina will get it back then. Pass to center. Broken up by Ottawa. Shabbat with 5 minutes to go. Shots are 15-14 in favor of Carolina. Cleared off the boards. Up top, Pinto, a shot. That one goes up in the air and wide. Getting it back then is Amadio. Up at the point then. Shot there from Spence is blocked. Here's Giroux battling for with Svechnikov. Down low now in the corner. Walker on the right side to Pinto. Shot on there is blocked by the Canes, who will play it back to center. 2-on-2. Aho to Jarvis, a shot. Saved by Olmark. And he will cover up. Shots 16-14 here in favor of Carolina. Olmark's had a good game despite the losing effort currently. Studio update in Sabres and Bruins. That game is getting ready to start the third period. It is still tied 1-1. Face-off in the Ottawa zone, won by the Canes. Chatfield, a shot, goes up and out of play. Face-off in the Ottawa zone. It's blown dead due to a face-off violation, so we will try again. The face-off is a tie-up on the right side, then Montempalo battling for it down low in the corner. There as well is Clevin, who will clear it back to center. Regrouping with it now is Slavin. Slavin in his own end, back to center. Stützle battling forward alongside Marnook. Carried back to by Chatfield. Pinto for Stützle. Battling forward on the right side then. Cousins will get it back for Ottawa. Pass down low. Back in there. They score! It's Drake Batherson. And the Senators have tied it. And this place is going nuts here in Ottawa. Not my greatest call, but I'll take it. Stützle bat. Oh, this is coming back. 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 For sure. If Carolina doesn't challenge this, this is coming back. This is offsides. You can tell initially from the replay right away. What? They're not challenging that? No way. Wow, Ottawa just got blessed. No way. That was offsides for sure. I'm not trying to be biased. That was offsides. Here's Zetterlund to center, then shot there goes wide. I thought for sure, I need to see the replay again. I thought for sure that was offsides. Down low in the corner now, Lars Eller battling for it. Eller on the right side, and a whistle blown dead here. For sure, I thought that was offsides. Can I see a replay of that? Drake Batherson from Nick Cousins ties the game up at 1. And I'm not trying to like, you know, take a side or anything, but I'm pretty sure that was offsides. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'll have to try and see a replay. Face off here outside of the Carolina zone. Walker. Back down low into the Ottawa zone. Here's Tim Stutzla. Will chip it off the boards back to center. Carried back then by Sean Walker, who will dump it down low into the Ottawa zone. 3 minutes to go in the second period. Cousins will flip it back into the Carolina zone. Miller over then for Walker. Down low in the corner now, trying to get it back is Batherson battling forward with Miller. Up top, Shabata's shot blocked in front. Getting it back then is Carolina. Stankoven will flip it to center. Miller into the zone, back to Hall. Hall on the right side for the Canes. Hall, pass back up top. Miller comes in down low. They score! Oh my God, that was a horrible voice crack. That was a horrible voice crack. Jackson Blake makes it 2-1 Ottawa. Holy crap, that was a hell of a voice crack. Jackson Blake makes it 2-1 Carolina. Oh my God. I need to hear this replay. Into the zone, back to Hall. Hall on the right side for the Canes. Hall, pass back up top. Miller comes in down low. They score! Oh my God, that was horrible. That was horrible. Oh my God. I gotta record that. Holy crap. Jackson Blake makes it 2-1 Carolina. Here's Clevin down low in the corner then for Ottawa. Clevin off the boards to Montempalo, who will clear it back to center. Svechnikov at the line then for Carolina, and a whistle blown dead here for an offsides at 2:10. That was the worst voice crack ever. Oh my goodness. Puck is dumped back down low into the Carolina zone. It's Jackson Blake from K-Andre Miller and Taylor Hall. Here's Jarvis on the right side with Pinto. Up top then Nikishin a shot. And that one goes wide. Montempalo battling for it now in the corner. On the right side, Claude Giroux will get it back to center. Intercepted by the Canes, who will dump it down low into the Ottawa zone. Clevin off the boards to center. Regrouping now with it here is Nikishin. Cross-ice pass to Ehlers. Into the zone, then shot on. Denied by Ullmark. Rebounds in front. And denied as well by Ullmark. A voice crack from me and 2 goals from Carolina. Jackson Blake, with his first goal of these playoffs, makes it 2-1 Carolina. Update in Sabres and Bruins. Alex Tuck from Krebs and Byram makes it a 2-1 lead for Buffalo. Face-off coming up here now in the Ottawa zones. One back by the Sens. Spence will clear to center, and a penalty coming up against the Canes with 1:18 to go. Power play coming up here now for Ottawa. And a massive opportunity to potentially tie this game up. Power play coming up for Ottawa with 1:18 to go. This power play will carry over into period number 3 if there is no goal scored. Face-off coming up here now in the Carolina end. Here's Stahl versus Tkachuk. The face-off is won back then by Ottawa. Miller battling for it alongside Gregg, who will clear it back into the Carolina zone. Jankowski behind the net then for the Canes. Mark Jankowski will dump it down low behind the net then. Batherson battling for it with Stahl. Last minute of play here in the second period. Here's Stützle. Drops it back then for Batherson. And the puck goes up and out of play. And of course I forgot to start my clock. My apologies. Oh, disastrous stream. What a disaster. Tough series indeed. Shorty for the Canes. Too late now. Yeah, I need to get a cough drop in. That's why the voice is kind of cracking up. Face-off coming here now outside of the Carolina zone. 51 seconds to go here in this second period. Face-off outside of the Carolina zone. Won back then by the Sens. Shabbat will drop it back then to Stützle. Stützle over then for Giroux. Chatfield off the boards, intercepted by the Canes. Here they come, intercepted at the line. Carolina gets it right back. Here's Jarvis into the zone shorthanded. He'll get around Shabbat. Back in on, saved by Omark. And the Sens will clear to center. Less than 30 to go. Stützle to Tkachuk. Pass is blocked there by Slavin. Off the boards, Tkachuk, cross-ice pass, broken up then by Jarvis, who will clear it back to center. Thomas Chabot will grab it then for Ottawa. Here's Tkachuk. Back down low for Giroux. 10 seconds left. Intercepted by the Canes, who will dump it down the other way, and that will do it for period number 2. Some boos here in the Ottawa crowd as we end the second period. And after Ottawa tied the game up, Jackson Blake, with the voice crack of the year, makes it a 2-1 lead for Carolina after 40 minutes of play. That being said, folks, it is intermission time. Go get a snack. Go get a drink. Do what you got to do. We will be back for period number 3 momentarily. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are just over 80 subs away from 6,200. Oh my lord, that voice crack was all time. So I need to take a look at that Senators goal. I need to take a look at that Ottawa goal and see if it was offsides. I could have sworn that it was. I might be wrong, but I could have sworn it was. All right, let me take a cough drop here. Get the voice a little bit fixed. All right. Expected all the games you've been calling, bro. That's true. Good point. Fans getting frustrated. Yep. All right. So it's a 2-1 lead for Buffalo and a 2-1 lead for Carolina. Don't forget, later on tonight, we'll be live for Avalanche and Kings. Game 3 of that series. So that should be a fun one coming up here in just a moment. I'm going to go to the bathroom here super quick. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And I will be right back, guys. Going to go to the bathroom real quick. Knocking stuff down. Whoops. Alrighty, I have returned. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into the stream. I greatly appreciate it. So, I found out a fact. So, apparently that goal wasn't offsides because the Carolina player threw the puck into their own zone. And when a Carolina player when a player from an opposing team throws a puck back into their own zone with players from the other side still in it, it's not offsides. I just learned that today. So you learn something new every day. That goal was not offsides because of that. Little shocked, though. That's the first time I've seen that. Back to Mike Chatfield. Hit. That'll leave Ford on the right side. Ford on the right side then. A pass down low. Backhand for Ottawa. Pass down low. Backhand. Cousins will get it back for Ottawa. Pass down low. Backhand. Ford on the right side then. Cousins will get it back for Ottawa. Pass down low. Backhand there. They score! Yeah, it's interesting. I've never seen that before. And the Senators have tied it. 13 points so far this series, and we are just 3 games in, still third period to go, leading to Wayne Gretzky. 12 is the net, Anson Carter and Henrik Lundqvist. Hey, Wayne Gretzky on the panel. What's up, Cameron? How we doing? Welcome back. Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. That was our best stream of the playoffs so far. Hopefully things will get better. Thank you, Douglas. Doing the best I can. Don't forget, we'll be live later on tonight for Kings and Avalanche, round 1, game 3. Not my greatest calls in the world, but I'll take it. Big Sens Guns aren't getting it done yet. Nope. 2-1 lead for Carolina after 40 minutes of play. Carolina has to win. Or Ottawa has to win this one. If they go down 0-3, I don't like their odds. I mean, I still don't like their odds. All you have to do, though, is win one. It's pretty much all you have to do. Is win one game. Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle are pointless in this series. Wow. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. They have definitely struggled for sure. Sens are not getting it done tonight. They are done. It certainly seems like that, Daniel. Sabres and Bruins is still 2-1 Buffalo. Boston's on a power play. With 7.5 minutes to go, we will see if the Bruins can tie that game up. But I don't know. After tonight, there could be 2 games that have a chance, 2 teams featuring a team that have a chance to advance on Saturday and Sunday, respectively. So a very interesting time here. All right, second clip. I'm going to make a clip of the voice crack goal and try and make fun of myself a little bit. Over then for Walker. Down low in the corner. Getting it back, Dennis Carolina. Stanko. Center. Miller. Into the zone. Back. Side for the Canes. Hall. Pass back up top. Miller comes in down low. They score! The right. Comes in down low. They score! On the right side for the Canes. Hall. Pass back up top. Miller comes in down low. They score! Oh my God, that was a horrible voice crack. That was a horrible voice crack. Jackson Blake. Wayne Jetski. What does my bracket look like? First round, I had all the favorites winning, actually. I had the Canes beating the Sens in 6. I had the Sabres beating the Bruins. I had the Lightning beating the Habs. Penguins beating the Flyers. That was reverse psychology because I'm a Flyers fan. That's all 4 of the Eastern Conference. Western Conference, I had Golden Knights beating the Mammoth. I had the Avalanche beating the Kings. I had the Oilers beating the Ducks. And the Stars beating the Wild. That was my bracket for the first round. All right, still a 2-1 lead for Carolina. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are just over 80 subs away from 6,200. All right. Perfect. That is done.
With that out of the way, I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to crack them in like 4 or 5 games. This might be the most confident that I am in a first-round matchup, even ahead of Colorado versus LA.
Senators are going to get a power play in the 3rd period, by the way. So Sens will go to the man advantage at the beginning of the 3rd. How are the Phillies doing? They're struggling. Phillies are struggling. Phillies suck. I know. I'll be the first to say it. They suck. All right. So don't forget, guys, Avalanche and Kings coming up later on tonight after this commentary. I don't think they'll overlap, but we'll see. They might. If the Ottawa ties it up and goes to overtime, obviously it will. And if it does happen, then we will obviously pan over. We will obviously stay on this until that's done. Boston to the power play. Yet again, it's 2-1 Buffalo with just over 5 minutes to go in that game. So we will see if the Sabres can hold on there and beat the Bruins, or if Boston will come back. We shall find out. Thank you, Bon. I appreciate it. Good to see you here for a bit. Go Sens. We'll see if they can make a comeback. Hey, John with the $10 dono. Thank you, brother. Again, your guys' donations have been absolutely nuts these playoffs. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Again, that money, when I do get it, a lot of it goes back into the cards. A lot of it goes into savings, too. We save it. I put it in the savings, and I save it for other dates and other video ideas, and later on equipment eventually. So, hopefully coming up tomorrow will be the start of our 2026 off-season outlook videos. We'll be taking a look at all 32 teams and separate videos spread out across the next couple of weeks, discussing what their off seasons could look like, all the eliminated playoff teams. So starting off tomorrow is Vancouver. We will take a look at Vancouver's current situation and what needs to be done moving forward in the off season. So stay tuned for those videos dropping tomorrow. Thank you again, though, John. I appreciate it, brother. All right, third period coming up here soon, guys. Stay tuned. We are almost ready for the third. Keandre Miller and then Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall has a multi-point game tonight, 2 assists. Pretty nifty there. No complaints. Batherson finally broke through, but questionable. Yeah. So the reason why that goal wasn't challenged, Brian, is because, and I just learned this, but if a player from the opposing team, Carolina, for example, say they put it back into their defensive zone while there's players still there from the other team, aka the Senators, it's not offside. I just learned that today. Apparently that's a thing. But Carolina, it doesn't really matter. After that, they were able to make it a 2-1 game. So things do not change. All right, getting ready for the third period coming up in just a moment. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Alrighty, everyone, let's get ready for the start of the third period between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators, live from the CTC. Second period recap. Goals were scored by Drake Batherson and Jackson Blake, making it a 2-1 lead for Carolina after 40 minutes of play. Taking a look at your stats through 40, shots are 20-15 in favor of Carolina. The faceoffs are 57% in favor of the Hurricanes. Power plays, Carolina 0 for 3, Ottawa 0 for 4. Hits are 33-20, and block shots are 15-12, all in favor of Ottawa. Period number 3 between Carolina and the Sens. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out greatly with the engagement, brings more people into the commentary. Period number 3, and we are underway. Face-off is won back then by the Senators. They will dump it down low into the Carolina zone. Keeping it in then is Giroux. Puck will slide back around then in the Carolina zone. Pinto. Below the line then for Ottawa. Up top, Shabbat. Cross-ice pass to Giroux. Down low, Stützle. Bank back up top then, Giroux. Battling for on the right side. Stolen back by the Canes, who will dump it down the other way. Less than 15 to go on the power play. Shabbat drops it back for Giroux. Giroux into the zone. Will chip it down low into the Carolina zone. Cousins battling for it then with Jarvis. Intercepted by the Canes, who will take it the other way. Out of the box is Marnook. Marnook passed down low. It's broken up by the Sens. And that power play comes to a close. Another disappointing power play for Ottawa. And the frustrations continue. Here's Jordan Spence. Down low in the Senators zone. Spence now behind the Sens net. Chipped off the boards and back to center. Getting it back down low then on the right side is Brady Tkachuk. Tied up in the corner then alongside Walker. Tkachuk gets the puck back to Zetterlund. Zetterlund pass in front broken up. Here's Spence's shot. And that one is blocked and goes wide. On the right side it's intercepted then by Carolina. Svechnikov into the zone. To center a shot. And that one goes wide. Down low in the corner then getting it back. Svechnikov down low. Chips it to center. Zetterlund. Back over then for Stützle. Tim Stützle now holds it in the Ottawa end. They will break it to center. And broken up at the line by the Canes. Ottawa will take it back then into the zone. Broken up by Carolina, who will try and move it to center. Stankoven will flick it ahead then. It's broken up by Ottawa. Canes recover. Blake. Down in the corner then. Back to Stankoven. Stankoven to Blake. Up top then at the point was Gostisbehere. It's intercepted by Amadio and back to center. Fogle down low. Shut on. Saved by Anderson in the corner. Played back up top then to Montempalo. Montempalo back to Greg. Greg over then for Fogle, battling for it down low in the corner. Here's Warren Fogle down low here now in the Carolina zone. Puck is tied up down low. It's a 3-man battle for it in the corner. Finally, the puck comes free. Amadio. Pass up top then. It's broken up by Carolina. Taylor Hall gives it over then for Blake. Jackson Blake will clear it to center. Gilbert will try and dump it down low. It's blocked and goes out of play. About 3 minutes gone here now. A frustrating effort here for Ottawa. They're trying to get the shots on. They're trying to get offensive zone pressure. But they seemingly cannot get anything to go their way. Studio update in Sabres and Bruins. It's a 3-1 game for Buffalo. Carolina keeps it in the zone. Robinson a shot there, saved by Olmark. Down low now behind the net, getting it back is Clevin. Clevin off the boards to Zetterlund. Fabian Zetterlund racing for it now through center, broken up by the Canes. And getting it back down low is Clevin. Tyler Clevin here now in the Ottawa zone. Will chip it off the boards then. Eller on the right side, broken up by the Canes. who will dump it down the other way for an icing with 16:28 to go. So the Sabres are going to beat the Bruins 3-1 in Game 2, and they will take a 2-1 series lead over the Bruins. Game 4 is on Sunday, and we will be live for it. Face-off in the Carolina zone. Chatfield off the boards to center. Icing again here against Carolina. Hopefully we will see a final push here for Ottawa. It looks like Jake Sanderson is not on the bench for the third period. Sanderson is not on the bench for the third. Face-off in the Carolina zone is won back by Ottawa. Broken up then quickly by Martinook, who will backhand it down low into the Ottawa zone. Shabbat battling for them with Martinook. Jordan Spence chipped on the boards up top. Shot on there is blocked by Olmark on the right side. Here's Cousins through center. Pass up then for Gregg. Interfere with it. The shot up there goes high and wide. Down low in the corner. Tkachuk battling for it with Stahl. Cross ice pass then by Carolina to center. Martinook battling for it then with Spence, who dumps it down low into the Carolina zone. And that'll be another icing. Oh, man. Ottawa can't get anything to go their way. Got to be frustrating for sure if you're the Senators. Just can't get anything to go the way you want to. Face off here in the Ottawa zone is a tie-up. It's won back then by the Hurricanes. Gostisbehere, shot on there is blocked. Grabbed back then by Dylan Cousins, who will chip it off the boards to center. Nikishin on the right side fighting with Tkachuk. Off the boards, Jarvis then for Aho. Aho circles back around. Trying to get that one in front to Jarvis. Now Amadio battling for it in the corner. In the corner. Sens will get it back to center. Nicholas Montempalo will bank it off the boards to center and back down low into the Carolina zone. On the right side, Canes battling for it down low. It's Nikishin alongside Pinto. Canes will get it back to center. And racing for it down low here into the Ottawa zone is Stankoven and Clevin. Winning it there is the Sens. Montempalo will chip it off the boards. And can't get it to center. Finally, they do so. Pinto battling for it. Then it's a tie-up. Taken back by Pinto on the right side. He'll chip through the Canes. Into the zone now. Broken up by Jackson Blake. Down low here in the Carolina zone and thrown back to center. Hall battling for it then with Gilbert. Ottawa will try and bank this one to center. A whistle blown dead here at 14:32. I'm not exactly sure for what. I think it's a hand pass or something. Shots 22-16 in favor of Carolina. The face-off coming here outside of the Ottawa zone. It'll be Eller versus Stahl in the draw. Face-off is blown dead due to a violation. Don't forget, later on tonight, Kings and Avalanche. We will end this stream and start a new one. Face-off here now outside of the Ottawa zone. Stahl will be kicked out of the circle. Coming in, that is Martinook against Pinto. Face-off one back then by the Canes. K-Andre Miller will dump it down low into the Ottawa zone. Behind the net then for the Sens is Spence. Jordan Spence behind the net then will look for options. Spence off the boards to center. Sens will dump it down low here into the Carolina end. And now Batherson fighting for it here at center. Eller drops back down low. Gilbert cross-ice pass to Spence. The Senators are struggling to break the puck out of their own zone. Down low now in the Carolina zone. Anderson back over then for Ehlers, who will throw into center. Stahl back to Martinook, who will backhand it down low into the Ottawa zone. Down low now is Gilbert. Fighting for it now is Svechnikov. It's still a tie-up here in the corner. Aho fighting with Batherson. Drake Batherson then, cross-ice pass, broken up at center by the Sens. Batherson brings it in, broken up, and cleared to center by the Canes. Here's Montempalo. Off the boards then, Shabbat will try and chip it to center, broken up then by Carolina, who will dump it down low. Shabbat behind the net then for Ottawa. Montempalo will gain the line and dump it down low into the Carolina zone. Chatfield fighting for it in the corner. Tkachuk there as well. Cleared back to center then now. Here's Jankowski, 2-on-2. Jankowski, a shot saved by Olmark. Rebound was there. Ottawa will try and clear it. It's kept in by Carolina. Robinson behind the Canes net. Down low in the corner now, trying to get there first is Batherson, broken up by the Canes. Jankowski as the puck is chipped back to center. Behind the net then, Jankowski. Broken up then by the Sens, who will clear it back into the Carolina zone. It will not be an icing. Really frustrating because it feels like Ottawa is not really playing bad, but they just can't get anything to go their way. Clevin to Claude Giroux. Chipped off the boards. Huge hit there down low in the Carolina zone. Here's Logan Stankoven. Will flip it back to center, or at least he'll try to. Into the zone now. Hall hit off that puck. And a whistle blown dead with 12:10 to go for an offsides against Carolina. We will step aside. Some good chances for Carolina, some solid chances for Ottawa. Overall, it stays a 2-1 lead for the Canes. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement. We are currently at 48 likes here on the commentary. 48 likes. Don't forget, we will be on later tonight for Kings and Avalanche. Round 1, Game 3. All right. 2-1 Carolina here in the third period. Let me ask you guys, do you think the Senators will come back? Or is this the Canes' game to lose? Will the Senators come back or will the Canes win? Comment your prediction in the comments below. Will the Sens come back? Yes or no? Ottawa goes down 3-0. They're done. Yes, I agree with that. They may already be done. Starting to think Canes will win. Fair enough. Face-off coming up here now outside of the Ottawa zone. Face-off is won back then by the Sens. Montempalo will dump it down low. Intercepted the line by Carolina. And cleared back into the Ottawa end. Olmark. Down low now for Batherson, who will flip a pass now all the way back down low. And a icing here against Ottawa. And there's some boos here from the crowd off of that call. They do not like that. For the sake of it, why not? Why not let Ottawa come back? Why not? Even though that probably means we miss a little bit of Avs and Kings. Why not? Face-off here, won back by Carolina. Up top then, Walker, a shot denied there by Olmark. On the right side, Batherson will get it back to center. Drake Batherson. Up top to Stützle. Battling for it then. It's broken up by the Canes, who will fight for it on the right side. Stützle gets it back. He'll dump it down low. Over then for Brady Tkachuk. Fighting there. Pass up top then. Montempalo, a shot. Off the post. In the crease. Stützle gets it back. Pass over. How did they not convert? Oh my goodness. Clevin. Back off the boards, and taking a stick there to the face or something was Martinook, and he is down on the ice and hurting. Oh, that was it right there. I don't even know if they got a shot on. I don't even know if they got that on. I don't think they did. Oh no. Can we please hear that voice crack again? No, I can't do it again, bro. I can't do that to myself again. It's posted as a short. I made it as a short. You can go make fun of me on it. I'm expecting somebody will. Somebody has to. Referees are conglomerating here about the Martinook fall. Asking the question of if it's a penalty or not. See the replay here. Yeah, Tkachuk does look like he kind of spears him a little bit. And here's the call. Major! Did I just hear that correctly? They're reviewing this for a major. They are reviewing Martinook they're reviewing Tkachuk for a major penalty here on Jordan Martinook. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Rex, I wasn't either. Oh my gosh. So they'll take a look at this here. I don't know. I mean, he does get in there and kind of spear him a little bit. It's hard from the angle to tell that the only angle that I saw. I don't know. If this is a major penalty, the game's over. So what happened was Martinook was waiting for the puck in the zone. Tkachuk comes up to him, kind of hits his stick out of Martinook's hand, and interfered with Martinook, and Martinook went down. Travis Green's not happy on this. All right, here's the call. All right, it's a 2-minute minor. 2-minute minor, so it's not a major. It'll be a power play for Carolina, and Travis Green is not happy about that. Power play coming up here for Carolina. Here's a closer angle of this play. If this was a major, I don't know what I'd do. And a loud refuse suck chant coming here. Power play coming up here now for Ottawa. Face-off is for Carolina. Face-off one back by Carolina. Here's Aho, a shot blocked there in front. Cleared away then by the Sens all the way back into the Carolina zone. Down low here now in the Ottawa zone. Shabbat will steal it right back for Ottawa and dump it back down the other way. Here's the thing. Ottawa's not playing that bad, but they can't convert on the chances. What is happening? What the hell just happened? 10:25 to go. Aho on the right side, then battling for it then with Ehlers. Stützle will steal it back for Ottawa and clear it back down the other way. Frederik Andersen then back down low for Nikishin. Here's Nikishin now through center. Chipped off the boards then, battling for it, Jankowski. Senators try to get a short end of break the other way. Here's Jankowski, cross-ice pass, then to Blake. Blake down low, fed all the way back to center. And into the Carolina zone. Here's Nikishin in his own end. Nikishin, cross-ice pass then for Stankoven. Off the boards to Blake. Battling for it down low on the corner. Blake fighting here with Shabbat. Cleared off the boards and back to center. Nikishin will regroup with it. 9.5 minutes to go here in the third period. Monempalo off the boards to Pinto. Pinto down low. What a save by Anderson. Stutzla was there, but he could not convert on the play. Power play will come to a close. Here come the Canes now through center. Martinuk will try and dump it down low. In the corner now, Jordan Spence gets it back for Ottawa. Off the boards, Thomas Chabot will move this one through center. Chabot for Tkachuk. Will dump it down low. Puck is cleared all the way back to center then. Cousins to Tkachuk. Pinto a shot. That one goes wide there. And out of play. 8:46 to go in the third. Carolina is still holding their own. It is 2-1 here in the latter stages of period number 3. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary, of course. Don't forget, later on, we will be live for Kings and Avalanche. Round 1, Game 3. This game might overlap. I saw something saying puck drops 10:05, because of course it is. Like, you know, again, all the other times it's pushed back to 10:20, 10:30. But now they're going to do 10:05. Screw you. Painful to watch. Yeah, not a great game so far here for Ottawa. Frustrating. I agree with that. It does feel like the referees are calling everything in these playoffs, though. I'll be honest. It feels like they really are. Sen should be moved back to Quebec and bring back the Nordiques. Huh. That's a great one. All right, face-off coming up here now in the Carolina zone. Less than 9 minutes to go. Stahl versus Giroux. Face-off is won back then by the Canes. Thank you, Juan. I appreciate it, brother. An update on Jake Sanderson. He will not return tonight. Stutzla shoots it, and that was denied there by Anderson. Here's Spence. Over then to Giroux. Giroux up top. Stutzla drive, and that one goes wide. Slavin battling for it down low. Giroux to Stutzla. In front. Bethers pass over. Broken up. Now Spence a drive. Goes high and above Anderson. And kept in by Ottawa. Chabot to Stutzla. Up top then, moving this puck. Stutzla down behind the net. Pass in front. Batherson a drive. And that was denied there as well. Chatfield will clear it back to center then for Carolina. Here's Chabot in his own zone. Thomas Chabot now in his own end. Back over to Spence. Chabot to Cousins. Dylan Cousins regrouping with this puck down low. Chabot to center. Tkachuk battling for it then. Nikishin will backhand this one to center, or at least he'll try to. Ottawa keeps it on the line. Sens will get it back. They will dump it down low here into the Carolina zone. Shot there from Tkachuk goes wide of Frederik Andersen once again. Battling for it down low here now on the right side. Up top, intercepted by the Canes. Jarvis will get it back to center. Jarvis, cross-ice pass then to Svechnikov. Taken back then by Clevin. Clevin to Monempalo, who will dump it down low. Back over then for Stankoven, who battles for it down low in the corner. Taken back then by Pinto. Up top, Chabot shoots it on. That one's blocked. Rebound was there and cleared away then by the Canes. Here's Stankoven through the zone. Stankoven a shot. That one goes up in the air and wide. Gilbert battling for it down low in the corner. It's taken back then by Ottawa. Senators will move it through center. Fogle fires it wide. Warren Fogle down low in the corner. Taken back by Blake, who's tripped. And that will not be a penalty. Here's Spence. Ahead then for Gregg, who's knocked off that puck. Walker trying to clear that one to center. Canes will get it back down the other way. Carrier will flick it into the zone. Spence battling forward here now with Carrier. 6:13 to go here in regulation. It's only a one-goal game. Jankowski battling forward now on the right side. Stolen back then by the Senators. Giroux off the boards and back into the Ottawa zone. Or the Carolina zone, sorry. Jankowski now will clear it to center. Puck will slide back in there on Olmark. And he will make the save and cover up. 5:49 remaining here in regulation. This game is not over. It's only 2-1. Face off here in the Ottawa zone. Clevin. Back over then to Montempalo. Giroux then will clear it back to center. Up top, Batherson. Will dump it down low, pass over to Clevin. Intercepted then by Carolina. Here's a 2-on-1. Ehlers with Marnook. Ehlers pass over. Marnook in front. Denied. Rebounds there. And cleared away by Ottawa. Sens will break it back to center. Batherson will dump it down low into the Carolina end. We are approaching crunch time. Shots are 26-19. In the Ottawa zone, Shabbat back to Spence. Here's Tkachuk now through center. Cross-ice pass to Pinto. Pinto gains the line, fires it there, and saved by Anderson. Good chance there by Ridley Gregg, and that one is denied. And now the Canes will clear back to center. You fell asleep, Sharky? Here's Jarvis. Back to Aho. Aho, top of the circle. Jarvis at the point. Poke checked away by the Sens. Trying to get that one there was Pinto. Now battling forward here at center. Miller on the right side will dump it down low. Stankoven now fighting here with Clevin. Here's Amadio trying to clear it to center. Jankowski chipped off the boards. Up top then for Miller. Miller down low then for Blake. Battling forward here now with Spence. Lars Eller will try and dump this one off the boards. And it comes back to center. Keandre Miller back to Taylor Hall. Hall dekes in, broken up there by Ottawa. 4 minutes to go here in regulation. Here's Stankoven, cross-ice pass to Hall is broken up. Up top then, Carolina will dump it around behind the net. At the point, Slavin. Back over then for Blake. Blake to Jankowski. Mark Jankowski down low. Up top then, Chatfield, cross-ice pass to Slavin. Slavin shoots it, save rebounds in front. How did that stay out? Mark Jankowski nearly made it a 2-goal game, but was broken off the puck or something. Sens will force it back to center. It's intercepted then by the Canes. Canes will dump it down low into the Ottawa zone. Cousins to Clevin. Battling forward here on the right side then. Stützle to Cousins. Cousins back to Giroux. Claude Giroux below the line. Shot there goes wide. Montempalo now battling forward with Stahl. Here's Ehlers taking it back now through center. Carolina is just controlling this game. Even though it seems like it's close, it feels like the Canes are just absolutely controlling the Senators right now. Giroux down low now to Batherson. Stützle battling for it down low in the corner. Tim Stützle now up top of the point. Stützle throws it down low then for Batherson. Keep an eye out for Linus Ullmark. Batherson battling for it down low in the corner. Shabbat trying to get it free. It's a 6-man battle in the corner. Canes will bank it back into the Ottawa zone. Ullmark is going to stay in the net, at least for now. Here's Jordan Spence behind his own net. Drops it back then to Cousins. Cousins will carry it here through center. Shot goes in to the Carolina zone. Empty net here for Ottawa with just over 2 minutes to go. Svechnikov will clear this one the other way. Grabbing it then is Clevin. Tyler Clevin in his own zone. Here's Anderson off the boards. Broken up by Carolina. They will get it to center. Jarvis will look for the empty net. It's blocked by Pinto. Less than 2 minutes to go in regulation. The Sens only trail by a goal. Cousins fires it on on Anderson. He'll make the save. Carolina clears the other way and just wide of the empty net. And that should be an icing. It will be. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are just under 70 subs away from, or 80 subs away from 6,200. Thank you all for your support. Six on five. Face-off coming up now in the Carolina zone. Face-off is won by the Sens. Intercepted by the Canes. Cross-ice pass then for Ehlers, who fires it wide of the empty net. I thought for sure they were able to get there. Here's Slavin getting it back. Will fire it for the empty net. That one's blocked by Shabbat. What a block by Thomas Shabbat. Off the board, Slavin will fire it then wide as well. The amount of chances to pot it on the empty net, and they still can't get it. Stützle back off the boards then to center to Tkachuk. Carolina will steal it back. They'll dump it down into the Ottawa zone. Last minute of play in regulation. Tkachuk to Shabbat in the Sens zone. Dumped into the Carolina end. Chatfield fighting with Giroux. Aho to Shabbat. Down low then now back into the Carolina zone. Jankowski will clear it back to center. Waiting for it then is Aho, who is slammed by Stützle. And a whistle blown dead with 34 seconds to go. As that was an offsides against Carolina. So don't forget, we will commentate Avalanche and Kings at the conclusion of this one here. I know the game has already started, but once we're done with this one, 30 more seconds left, we will go over to Avs and Kings. Timeout here for Ottawa. Face-off's going to come here now in the neutral zone just outside of the Ottawa end. They are going to put Ullmark back in the net. Again, they will put Ullmark back in the net. Face-off coming here now outside of the Ottawa zone. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Face-off outside of the Senators' end is won back then by the Senators. Off the boards to center. Tkachuk battling for on the right side. Ehlers will backhand it to center. Shabbat will dump it down low into the Carolina zone. Ehlers fighting with Cousins. Cousins on the right side, then trying to get this 1-3. Less than 20 to go. Here's Stützle at the point for Ottawa. Giroux up top, fires it, blocked in front. Down low to the corner. Chatfield will clear all the way back into the Ottawa zone for an icing with 1.3 seconds left. And that'll probably do it. Face-off coming up here now. It's going to be in the Carolina zone. 6 on 5, 1.9 remaining. The face-off is a tie-up, and that'll do it. Carolina will defeat the Hurricanes 2-1 here in Game 3, and they will take a 3-0 series lead. Final score, Hurricanes 2, and the Senators 1. And that was a frustrating performance by the Senators in Game 3. All right, that will do it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. We are going to get ready now for Abs and Kings. Transitioning right over to that here just now. I will end this stream and start a new one. So subscribe down below, turn the noties on, and I will see you guys in the next stream.